Hello Year 3. Today we're going to improve the work that we began in the last video. We spent some time looking at expanded noun phrases. Before we move on, can you remember what these are? Pause the video and have a go at saying an explanation out loud. You might want to look at yesterday's work to remind yourselves of an explanation. Okay, so in our last lesson we talked about expanded noun phrases. So to write one we need a determiner, an adjective followed by a comma, another adjective, and a noun. So again, my example was the beautiful yellow bird. Remember, it's not a full sentence, it's just a phrase, so don't panic about the capital letter and the full stop. Today, we'll be focusing more on that, but for now, when you're just thinking about a noun phrase, don't have to worry about that. Okay, so now we've reminded ourselves of expanded noun phrases, we're going to look at writing some prepositional phrases to extend our writing. We spent a lot of time on prepositions this year, so I know you'll be fab at this. A preposition tells us where something is in time, so something might have happened after lunch or after school, or it might have happened before playtime. A place, so in the cupboard, under the stairs, near the chair, or a movement. Now by a movement, I mean if I was describing how somebody was moving across somewhere or towards somewhere. So I might say, I'm walking to school. I'm going through the door. Or someone could walk across the path. It tells you where they're going, where they're moving to, or how they're moving. So here are some prepositions. Now this will keep coming up throughout this lesson to remind us of different prepositions we could use. So don't get stuck with the same one of writing on or under or to all the time. So make sure you're using a good range of prepositions in your writing today. The prepositional phrases. If we know what a preposition is, we can use this to write prepositional phrases. Prepositional phrases include a preposition and a noun or pronoun, which gives more information about the subject or object of a sentence. Now remember, a noun from our last lesson is a person, a thing, a place, or an idea. A pronoun is another word used to replace that noun. So rather than saying Jack did this and Jack did that and Jack did this, I might say he or his. So I'd replace the word Jack, his name, with a different pronoun, but still, so that I'd still know that I'm talking about that same person. So let's have a go. Here's a picture with lots of different objects that we can talk about, lots of nouns here. So we've got the chair, the table, the ball, the book, the lamp, the vase, the clock, the cushions, the chair, the cat, and the rug. So your first little task is to work with me on this one. So let's think of some sentences we can write about this picture. Quite basic, but the cat is beside the chair, beside the armchair. The next one I've chosen is the book is next to the lamp. And I've chosen the rug is on the floor. Beside, next to, and on would be my prepositions, but when in this sentence, the prepositional phrase is the part that I've highlighted in red. So, your first little task is to pause here and have a think about some prepositional phrases you could say about this picture. You don't need to write these down if you don't want to, but just have a think of some different prepositional phrases. You might want to use mine and just change the preposition or change what you're describing. Have a go at describing this picture. Okay, for the next few slides, you'll need the work that we did in the last video on expanded noun phrases. This will save you some time and help you so you don't have to think about your expanded noun phrases as well as your prepositions. So this was our first picture from our last lesson. So the expanded noun phrase I wrote for this one was a ghostly young girl. Now, a prepositional phrase. So I'm going to have to think about what she's doing, where's she going? So I could say that she stood in the water maybe, or that she had something in her hand, or I could say where she's going. So I'm going to say that she's going to that ship, so she's heading in that direction. Have a look at my prepositions. I could use, I could go toward the ship or towards. She's going to the ship. So there's lots of different things I could write. So for mine, I'm going to choose towards the shipwreck. So I've got my expanded noun phrase of the ghostly young girl and my prepositional phrase of towards the shipwreck. Pause here, have a think, what could your prepositional phrase be? So all you need to write for now is just your prepositional phrase. Okay, hopefully by now you've got an expanded noun phrase from the last lesson and a prepositional phrase about this picture. So our next step is we're going to put it all together into a sentence. So to do that, I'm going to join these two phrases by adding a verb. So that's a doing word. So I'm going to say what this young girl is doing. Okay, so once I've done this, I'm going to make sure that I start with a capital letter and a full stop. So check that you've got your punctuation right. So my sentence becomes, the ghostly young girl, so that's my expanded noun phrase, walked, now that's my verb because it's a doing word, towards the shipwreck. And that's my prepositional phrase. So you can see this expanded noun phrase is the exact same as up here. I've just got my capital letter. I've got my verb of walked, and towards the shipwreck, again, is the same as up here. I've just got a full stop on the end now because it's now a full sentence. We know it's a full sentence because I've got a subject and a verb. So my subject is the girl, and the verb is walked. So the fact that I've got that there, I know I've got my full sentence now because I know what she's doing. Okay, pause here and have a go at putting your expanded noun phrase and your prepositional phrase together to make a full sentence. On to our next picture. So we've got our dragon again. Now again, my expanded noun phrase from yesterday was its strong spiky tail. So a prepositional phrase. Again, but lots of things I could write about here. So the tail, it's in the air, it's above the cliff or above the rocks, it could be near the trees, it could be at the bottom of its body maybe. There's lots of different ways I could describe where this tail is in space. So I'm going to write through the air. So this tail, to me, it looks like it's midway through swinging around. So I think this tail is moving through the air. So my sentence is going to be, its strong spiky tail swayed through the air. So there I've got a preposition for movement in this one. A little bit of a trickier one. So now, pause here and have a go at writing your own sentence with your expanded noun phrase, your prepositional phrase, and putting it all together into that one sentence. Okay, now it's over to you. Use the expanded noun phrases that you wrote last time and choose a prepositional phrase to describe the picture. Be careful with your punctuation and make sure you use a verb to join the two phrases. So here was your first picture. It was of our lion cub. So your expanded noun phrase from yesterday. Write your first prepositional phrase. So pause here. Hopefully you've got your sentence, and now you can build that into one full sentence using your verb. So again, here's your next picture. Again, use your expanded noun phrase from yesterday. Write yourself a prepositional phrase, then put it all together into one sentence using a verb to join those two phrases together. So pause your video here. Okay. So our next picture, use your expanded noun phrase from yesterday, prepositional phrase. So pause now, write your prepositional phrase. Okay, hopefully you've got both of those written now. So now you need to join it into one full sentence using your verb. So I might be talking about the elephants, where are they going, or the birds, what are they doing? Lots of different things you can describe in here. Okay, well done for having a go at today's task. Now it got a little bit more complicated than the last lesson. So in our final English video of this week, which will be out tomorrow, we'll be using these ideas to help us to write a descriptive paragraph. So don't get rid of your work just yet. See you soon.